Oh, it's finally done. Okay, guys, so here we are. The day has finally arrived. We are going to be talking about the first ever paid product that I've released since I started Nick Walsh TV, which is sort of my brand on social media, and then of course my brand here on the website, and then sort of like my presence online. And I'm very happy to have arrived here. It's taken a lot of work to get to this point. We'll talk a little bit more about all the work that's gone into it in just a moment, but this is where it's at, guys. So there will be a new part of the website which will be available on the homepage, and then also it'll be in the sort of navigation as well. If you go to nickwalshtv.com/NWTV-shop, this is where you'll land. These are the first two paid products that I've released. And as explained many times on the stream, or teased many times on stream, it is the NWTV GTO Spin and Go Preflop Chart Pack. That's the Nick Walsh TV Game Theory Optimal Spin and Go Preflop Chart Pack, which I've divided into a standard edition and an advanced edition. They're priced respectively. We'll talk about what goes into each one in just a minute. But I am over the moon to have arrived at this point, guys. It was a long journey to get to this stage. I was really debating how I wanted to go about creating these, and in true classic Nick form, I kind of just ended up building them completely from scratch. It's it ended up being a lot more work than I thought it would be. And I guess that's kind of the whole point. Like I've put in a lot of the time that you guys don't have to put in, using a lot of tools that a lot of people don't know how to use. A lot of these solvers can be a little bit complicated, when you're getting sort of off the ground. And here we are. So let's jump into the breakdown. We have standard edition, we have advanced edition, and we'll talk about the differences. But in essence, both of these packs will be pretty much every single pre-flop scenario that you encounter in a spin and go, between 30 or 25 big blinds effective down to 5, depending on whether or not we're talking about multi-way or heads up. I'll show you guys the breakdown in a moment of that too. And what that means is, if you want to know what the Game Theory Optimal pre-flop move is for every single hand combination at every single stack depth, it's going to be in here, basically. The only sort of admission, or the only concession, is that obviously when we're multi-way, you're going to have scenarios where the big blind and the small blind are differently stacked. And that's actually one of the things that I've done some investigation into for the advanced chart pack as well. You guys can see unbalanced stack is one of the solve packs that I've included here. So we have some examples of that. It's a little bit more complicated. I've explained more about that in the pack, but there are going to be some examples of unbalanced stuff there. But aside from that, you guys can extrapolate, what you need to do in those scenarios. Those ones are a little bit more nuanced anyway. But apart from that, pretty much every single spot is covered. So if you want to know what you're going to do at 18 big blinds effective when you're heads up, there's an entire breakdown of every single thing that happens on the decision tree there, and charts to indicate what you should do with each combo, and so on and so forth. So 20 big blinds effective, 25 big blinds effective, 15 big blinds effective, and we've tried our best also to optimize for the pre-flop sizings as well. But let's get into it, guys. So if we click across onto standard edition, should open up our little sales page here. Should be really clear. I've designed that myself, that little flashy bit there, but if you guys want to purchase, that's the button. And essentially, this is all you need to get started in pre-flop for spins. The standard edition is by no means any worse. It's not like it's not like the standard edition is like, not including things that you want. The standard edition will be a complete pre-flop strategy, and it will be super duper competitive. The advanced edition, of course, will have some additional sizings and some of the stuff that I've gotten really excited about on stream, if you guys follow me on Twitch or on YouTube, and has some of the more advanced moves that I think actually will give you additional edge. But if you were to purchase the standard edition, you will have a complete Game Theory Optimal Preflop strategy for spin and goes, and it's exhaustive. It's nuts how much material is in this part alone. We get across to the advanced stuff. I'll show you guys kind of what's in there as well. But essentially, this is your bare bones multi-way pre-flop chart pack. Has all of the spots multi-way and multi-way and heads up, apart from the unbalanced stuff. The way that this is displayed is in images, so I've sort of painstakingly gone through and screenshotted all of the charts and the strategies based on the sort of decision tree, and then also based on effective stack depth. So you guys can peruse that at a glance. All you have to do is find the spot and open the chart. You can see it right away in image form. But if you guys did want to actually take a look at the solver files as well, I've included those as well as a quick start guide in how to read the charts via images, and then also how to read the solver files, including how to download simple preflop and install it on your computer. It's ridiculously easy. It's very, very daunting if you haven't seen it before, but I've got a video in there. I'll show you what that file structure looks like in a second. And those files will show you how to, or sorry, the video included in that file pack will show you how to download and then how to view them, and also how to sort of traverse the decision trees there as well. So it's pretty exhaustive. If you guys want to read more, go and check out this page. This is just a little bit of an explanation about sort of the chart pack itself. I've gone into some detail about sort of how I created or selected the sizings that we use there. Just really briefly, basically what I did was I've really challenged a lot of the sort of conventional wisdom that we have in Spin and Go. Is like a lot of the material that I've received in my sort of education on how to play spins was sort of given to me by coaches some time ago. It was sort of stuff that I've purchased along the way, and the creation of this chart pack challenged all of that. I did what I'm calling sort of like a master solve, where if there was a situation where I knew there was going to be deviation in bet size or raise size, I basically included like 5 or 6 sizes for every single one of those situations. As a result, the complexity of the solve was massive. I had to rent servers in order to run some of these solves, just because the computing power required, for a conventional computer would have taken, days per solve. And then based on that information, I sort of made some discoveries about things that we could be doing, significantly differently that would not only give you guys a bigger edge, but also really devastatingly confuse your opponents in game theory optimal approved ways, which is kind of more in the advanced chart pack. But, basically all of the sizes that you see there are not just assumptions based on what I've done in the past. Some of it has been adjusted for my sort of experience, and I've kind of, in the situations, especially in the standard pack, where I wanted to simplify to having sort of one ISO size or one 3-bet size, some of that was sort of preferential to my experience, still game theory approved. But if there was a situation where, for example, the solver kind of thought 5 big blind 3-bet or a 6 big blind 3-bet would be appropriate, I sort of selected based on my experience, being somebody who's been beating these games for a long time, right up to 2023 and this release. But essentially, I did these master solves just in case there was any outliers that we hadn't seen before, and if they seemed relevant, and with some really interesting results. So the sizings that we've used as part of the strategy, you guys can see kind of an example. I'm not sure what this spot is specifically, but it'll say raise to 4.25 big blinds. That was something that was included because it was part of a range that was part of the solver, part of the master solve that I did, and then also made sense from my experience too. So all of the sizings that you see in there, you can use very confidently, and that we haven't left any stone unturned in terms of it turns out that everybody seems to think that 3-betting to 6 here is standard, but actually 5 is superior. I don't want to give too much away, but there's actually a couple like that which will make a significant difference to what is already a game of small edges. High accuracy solves, of course, you guys, I've put this through the ringer. Like I said, you guys can see some of the parameters of one of the solves that we did down here, but without going into too much detail, I've ran all of the actual final solves that you receive in your pack at very high accuracy. I spoke directly to some representatives of Simple Preflop, and they gave me the parameters of a solve that they would consider extremely high accuracy, and I used all of the highest settings when I did this. So even though in many cases it wouldn't make a huge difference, what you're receiving is cutting edge, very high accuracy. And not only that, when I was setting up the solves themselves as well, I included a high degree of accuracy for the post-flop decision tree as well, which is something that a lot of people overlook. It does make some difference. So for example, a lot of people will sort of simplify flop, turn, river sizings. I've actually gone ahead and included a lot more detail in those just because it will make some difference to the final product, and I just wanted to make my life harder. So we did that too. Every position, every stack depth solved. So, obviously, like I said, this is these are basically all the spots. There are some sub spots here as well, which I haven't included just for the sake of the design of this website. But of course, in situations where, for example, the small blind 3-bet non all in, SB versus 3-bet non all in, for example, of course there is charts which cover the response to that as well. I just didn't want to clutter this. I just wanted to make it clear that everything is included, and I'm telling you guys now as well, all of the sub spots are included as well. When you're looking at the complete decision tree here, I've included images for almost every single spot. I think it might actually be every single one. I've gone through that several times. This is something that I think is important too as well, just to note. Accountable development, this section, I'm just kind of explaining that the purchase of this pack, if you do it, through the channel, if you do it from the website, if I can confirm your identity and the purchase at a later date, of course, when you guys do this sale, I'll have your emails so I can stay in touch with you guys. But in the event that we do spot something that we want to change in the future, so for example, maybe I've decided in the development of this chart pack that we're going to be 3-betting to 5 big blinds effective instead of 6. 5 big blinds or 6 big blinds not effective. Then if there is a change to be made, I will include that as part of sort of like an email that I send back to you guys. So if you guys have either of the 2 chart packs and I decide to make a change, I will release that information back to you guys free of charge. If you guys have any questions about anything that's in there, or you want to have a conversation about certain spots you think could be better, or if you feel like, there are certain strategies that aren't working for you, join the Discord. I'm online. I'm available. You guys know that I am a PokerStars ambassador. You guys know that I do work with the European Poker Tour. You guys know that I do work for Sunday Million. I am I'm not just a faceless, nameless individual on the internet, and I'm just like buy the pack and like I hope it works for you. I am here. I'm active in the community, and I should be for the foreseeable future. And the Discord is already set up, so there is actually an independent specific chart pack channel over on my Discord channel if you guys want to join, where we can have that conversation. And should there be any improvements in the future, any developments in the future, you guys will get that free of charge. Your purchase here isn't just a one-off. The only other sort of stuff that I will continue or to develop moving forward will be additional charts, which are completely different spots that we haven't covered, which actually doesn't seem likely given how exhaustive this is, but then also maybe some course material and stuff like that too. But again, that will be additional too, and not it'll be sort of different sort of content to what we're releasing here in the chart pack. Here's a breakdown of what's included in the standard edition. Like I said, you get the entire chart pack that includes 3-handed and heads up, which is the standard edition heads up. All the charts are presented as images and also solves. The way that they're presented, I'll show you in a second as well, in the files is cool because it follows that decision tree. And then also we have these sort of quick start guides as well. I've done sort of 10, 20, 30, I think it might be 30 or 40 minutes worth of content. I rambled a bit, but I just wanted to sort of explain how to use it if it wasn't immediately obvious. And if you guys are brand new to Spin and Goes, I've included a very short explanation of how you're supposed to make use of the images and the solvers, and also, of course, like I said, how to use those solve files with simple preflop. And that's the standard edition. Let's get across now, guys, to the advanced one. So the advanced is everything that you saw there, and then with a couple additions, which I think make it much higher value. The main difference being this sort of advanced heads up, which we'll take a look at in just a moment as well. But basically, what you're going to get is the entire 3-way and heads up standard edition, and then you'll also get the advanced heads up with this as well, with the multiple sizings, which I'm really excited to try and implement into my game and for you guys to use as well. Again, all presented as images solvers. The other additions that we have here as well are common unbalanced stack multi-way solves. So that was a situation I made reference to. I have a few examples of situations where we're on the button and then the small blind and the big blind in a 3-way pot have different stack depths, and then how that's going to change. I've only done a handful of examples there because I think really the idea isn't to give you a chart pack that includes every single situation where that's extremely vast and there's like lots and lots of permutations of that. But instead, just to give you sort of a point of reference so that when you're playing in your games and you're playing against two vastly different opponents who have very different 3-betting strategy and very different shoving strategies, you just kind of have an idea about, whether or not you should be tighter when the small blind is shorter, or vice versa. Moving forward and actually having put together the chart pack now for you for sale, I will be doing more of those. And again, as part of this sort of like responsible development, I will be sending those to you. So as soon as this is released and you guys actually have access to like the most important part of all of these, I will be doing more of those unbalanced stack situations. I'm going to take some notes during streams and find ones that I find tricky or ones that I feel like come up more frequently. And when I do those, I'll send those to you guys via email. You're not going to miss out. Again, this is going to be a continuous development process. That's not to say that I'm not sort of copying out there. I'm not trying to suggest that something is missing that I'm going to add on later. I just think that I would like to do more personal development on that. And if I'm doing it and I'm saving those and I'm going to make use of those, it's going to go in your pack as well. But really the main addition here is that advanced heads up with multiple sizings. And it's really, really interesting, the stuff that's going into there now as well. Additionally, guys, we have this 2x node lock situation here as well. Basically what that means is in situations where we are three-handed, instead of giving the small blind the sort of GTO approved correct sizings that we've used, we have locked our opponent to using strictly only 2x raise sizes. So just a min raise. I see this happen a lot. And I think the discrepancy between a 3x open and a 2x open from small blind to big three-way is a big enough scope where I don't want you guys to sort of blindly follow the chart pack where we're using the correct sizes, where there is going to be scope for exploitation, where our opponents are using the incorrect sizes there. And also just to give you guys some scope on what you should be defending in that spot. It's a situation that comes up often enough where I think it's important that you guys have a strategy for the small size, a strategy for the big size. So there is a solve pack there that you can open and look at that specific situation. The last sort of addition that you are getting, which is additional to what's already included in the standard pack, is this pre-flop sizing cheat sheet. Now, it's nothing particularly advanced. It's literally just a spreadsheet that has stack depth and then also sort of alternate ISO sizings and alternate 3-bet sizes. But the reason why I created it is because I know that when you're going to be implementing some of these more advanced strategies, in particular the heads up advanced, it can be very confusing to remember what the different sizings are. And when you're trying to study, it is still appropriate for you to use this particular cheat sheet while you are streaming, because it's not particularly advanced, or it's not advanced enough in order to break TOS on websites, at least as of this video right now. So I created that just because it will aid a lot in your sessions to try and coach yourself up to sort of automate those in future. So let me give you an example. If you were to find yourself in a situation where we're heads up and your opponent limps at 20 big blinds effective, there are going to be, as part of the advanced strategies, 2 ISO sizes. Now, the difference between 20 and 19 is probably going to be significantly different. I can't remember exactly where the jump is, but at a glance, you just have a ridiculously simple little panel that you can look at during your session, and it'll say, okay, we have 2 ISO sizes, and it's going to be 5, and it's going to be 8, or whatever the 2 sizes are. And using that during your session, which is allowed to be used during your session, because of course the charts are not to be used while you're streaming. They're too advanced for many websites that have restrictions there. You can use this basically just to start to drill into the 2 sizes. And over time, again, I'm hoping that you guys will basically completely not have the need for that, because you'll sort of figure that out. But where there is complexity, I just wanted to create a way to simplify that for you guys, and to sort of study and to improve in that respect. So again, we have a full breakdown if you guys want to read again. A lot of this is just repeated from the previous one, but we do have the breakdown of the advanced first standard edition here at the top. Again, optimized bet sizes. Obviously this one including the alternate sizings that we discovered as part of our sort of master solve process. High accuracy solves as per usual. Every single spot again. Obviously this time there will be even more complexity here, because we have the responses to 2 ISO sizes, 2 3-bet sizes, and those sizes themselves. But you guys will see what that looks like in just a moment. And again, same process as before. If there's any adjustments, you guys will be included. And then the full breakdown here at the bottom of what's included in the advanced pack. So go take a look for yourselves, guys. This should now be available on the website for your perusal. But as we move on, guys, let me just show you really quickly what the file structure looks like. I'm going to open up the the basic chart pack first. So this is actually what the files are that you will receive. As I mentioned, there's going to be a breakdown of how to read the image files. There's going to be a breakdown of how to download Simple Preflop and view in Simple Preflop. Again, it's free to view. So if you guys don't have any solver experience, I've explained how to download, install, and to open there, and it's free to use the solver to view all of the solves and all the solve files that I've included. This is literally just going to be your three-way and heads-up solve files. So these are the files that you open up in the solver where you can display, where you can view the entire decision tree. And then this is the exciting bit for most people. This is your images breakdown. So I'm just going to very, very quickly breeze through this. If you're in a situation where you are three-way and you want to see what to do pre-flop, you open up the three-way pack and you pick which position you're in. So let's say that we are in the big blind, and now we are facing a button min raise. We have all of the files there. If we're facing a button open shove, we have all the files there. Really quickly, I think we can probably open this one. This one's pretty straightforward. If we're in the big blind, the button open shoves, the small blind folds. This is the full breakdown of our calling range from 25 big blinds down to 5 big blinds. Again, I don't want to open too many of these because that's kind of giving away the pack, but you guys can see how that file structure works. Now, let's say that we are in the big blind and the small blind limps multi-way. We're going to open that up. If we are facing a small blind open raise, which is not all in, we have a response for that, 25 down to 5. Small blind open shove, same again, just the same as the button open shove as well. But you guys can see how that file structure works. The same for heads up standard as well. Again, don't want to open these and give away the ghost. I want you guys that purchase it to benefit from the sort of the strategies without exposing too much. But the same goes again now for the heads up. You open that up and every single spot is covered there. 25, heads up is 30 down to 5, in fact. Really quickly, we're going to open up the advanced pack now as well. You have a few more items in here. So you have an additional quick start guide, which is covering how to make use of the advanced stuff that we've included. So a little bit of a discussion about my decision to include multiple sizes in the advanced heads up pack. There's going to be explanation of how to make use of those additional solve packs as well, which I'll show you in just a moment. And then also an explanation of how to use that pre-flop sizing cheat sheet that I sort of explained just now. So the images here are exactly the same as the previous one, but you will have heads up advanced, which is the super, super exciting extra edge sort of sizing situation that I made reference to just now. And then in the solves pack, you have 2 additional folders here, which is that node locking and the unbalanced results, both of which you can open in Solver. Full explanation of how to do that in your breakdown as well. So that's it. The only other thing that I wanted to point out, I guess, is just the links here. This will just give you a breakdown of some links if you guys want to get in touch with me. So if you don't already have those, they're there. I've also got some backups of all of the quick start guides here in text form, because if for whatever reason you can't open these files, you can open them on YouTube in browser, and you can still make use of the quick start guide stuff regardless. So yeah, guys, that's the breakdown. Sorry if this went a little bit long, but I think it's relevant to people that are going to be spending that kind of money on a chart pack like this. And as always, guys, I'm kind of a Twitch guy. I'm kind of a talk as I do and not talk to a script sort of situation, but I am over the moon and really, really excited to release this for you guys. It's taken me a very long time to build these completely from scratch. I have gone into extreme detail. If you know anybody, if you talk to anybody who knows me, who knows the process that I've been on to create this, it's been a very long road, and I've put in a lot of hours so that you guys don't have to. And I think the final product is going to vastly, vastly, vastly improve your spinning goes and really, really make you competitive very quickly, while you're studying. So best of luck, guys. If you guys have any questions about this, let me know on any of the channels that I'm on social media or on Discord or whatever. I hope you guys enjoyed this breakdown, and I hope that gives you some idea of sort of like what you're getting yourselves in for. I myself am going to be using this material to study from, because there are certain things in here that I actually wanted to improve on, having built the charts. Haven't even had a chance to do a lot of study with these because I've been too busy building them in the first place. So best of luck to you guys in your games, and I'll see you guys next time.